This probably won't stay up long, but Caitlin Johnstone writes, Israel is still pushing for the ethnic cleansing of Gaza. They keep trying different angles and rebranding it under different names, but the end goal has remained the same since October 2023, the removal of all Palestinians from the Gaza Strip. From the Times of Israel, Israel is seeking to revive its moribund plan for the voluntary migration of Gazans out of the Strip and has rebranded it in an effort to soften the blanket international opposition to it. Channel 13 News reports, citing unnamed Israeli officials. Security agencies have in recent days been told to abandon the voluntary migration title due to the global opposition, and it will from now on be officially referred to as Plan for Free Movement, the report says. The network cites officials familiar with ties with countries that could potentially receive Gazans as voicing optimism that the terminology change will persuade them to drop their current refusal to cooperate with the plan and recruit other countries. A senior Israeli official is quoted as saying Jerusalem wants as many Gazans as possible to leave the Strip, viewing this as contributing to any future plan implemented in the territory. From the early months of the Gaza Holocaust, Israel apologists have been referring to the ethnic cleansing agenda as a plan for voluntary migration of Gaza inhabitants. This framing conveniently ignored the fact that you cannot destroy a populated area and deliberately make it uninhabitable and then say the inhabitants of that area are leaving voluntarily. According to the Haaretz report that was published last week, Israel's new National Security Council chief convened a meeting of top national security officials to discuss the issue of encouraging the voluntary immigration of Palestinians from the Gaza Strip. Now they're rebranding the initiative as a plan of free movement, which is just so fucking Israeli. They never stop doing the evil thing. They just play around with the words people say about it. Like how Israel's foreign ministry announced last year it was going to stop referring to its propaganda operations as Hezbollah due to the public revulsion that has developed around the label. They never say it's time to stop doing the thing that causes people to hate us. They just say it's time for a rebrand. And to be clear, the mass displacement of Palestinians in Gaza is already well underway. Israel now controls more than 60% of Gaza. The IDF has been instructed to expand it to 70%. The survivors of genocide have already been shifted and concentrated into a steadily shrinking 30-some-odd% of the Strip, while Israel attempts diplomatic maneuvers to persuade foreign states to take them in. It's just so crazy how often apologists for Israel and the Western Empire will cite October 7th as the spark that set off all these wars of far-reaching consequence. But it's taboo to talk about exactly what happened on that day, and it's taboo to talk about how Israel's abuses provoked the attack. The official mainstream position on October 7th is that Hamas killed 1,195 Israelis for no reason other than because they are evil and wanted to kill Jews, and that anyone who suggests it may have happened for an actual material reason is an anti-Semitic monster. Whenever anyone spouts the official mainstream position on October 7th at me, I just want to make goo-goo gaga baby noises at them until they shut the fuck up and go away, because such people are not thinking like adults. Everyone who's been watching Israel's behavior since October 7th now understands why Palestinian resistance fighters carried out October 7th in the first place. We're expected to avert our eyes from glaring potholes in the official narrative and never suggest Israel's horrific abuses of Palestinians may have played some role in giving rise to the attack. But after watching a live-stream genocide month after month, after a horrifying fucking month, we all know October 7th was just Israel reaping what it sowed. And we know there is no evil these freaks are not capable of. I think she speaks for many of us. There's been leaked video emerging showing that the IDF commanders ordered the killing of abducted Israelis on October 7th. Israel unalived its own people. October 7, 2023, early morning, Israel's police command center. Strike Gaza, break it all apart, along with the soldiers who got abducted. That's a quote. In the first hours of Operation Al-Aqsa flood, while conversing with Israeli police chief Kobi Shabtai, another senior official calls to implement the Hannibal Directive and destroy Gaza along with Israeli captives. Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir later arrives and orders to stop filming the meeting. As early as 1895, Theodor Herzl, the prophet and founder of Zionism, wrote in his diary in anticipation of the establishment of the Jewish state, "We shall try to spirit the penniless Arab population across the border by procuring employment for it in the transit countries, while denying it any employment in our country. The removal of the poor must be carried out discreetly and circumspectly." So Israel was founded on the premise that the country's previous inhabitants needed to be eliminated in some way. That's all this has ever been about. It was never about October 7th. It was never about Hamas. And it was never about hostages or terrorism. And it was definitely not about self-defense. It was never about any of the countless excuses that the barbarous and imperial spinmeisters have offered up over the last 3 years to justify Israel's monstrous abuses. It was only ever about eliminating Palestinians because of their ethnicity and replacing them with Jews. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying. Mohammed Safa says, "When I was 6 years old, Israel dropped bombs disguised as toys on us in Lebanon. New report reveals that Israel left behind bombs disguised as toys in Gaza. Today, a cluster bomb shaped like a small football found in South Lebanon. But keep talking about Israel not targeting children."